Throughout history, certain military commanders have become household names, renowned for their battlefield prowess and strategic brilliance. Figures like Alexander the Great, Julius Caesar, and Napoleon Bonaparte dominate our collective memory. However, history is replete with other brilliant commanders whose stories remain in the shadows, known only to dedicated historians and enthusiasts. Here, we explore 5 remarkable yet lesser-known military leaders who shaped the destinies of nations, but have largely eluded popular recognition. Epaminondas. Epaminondas of Thebes is one of antiquity's most underappreciated military geniuses. He was instrumental in ending Spartan hegemony over Greece, a feat that shifted the balance of power in the ancient world. Cicero called him the first man of Greece, yet his legacy has faded into obscurity, partly because Thebes was obliterated by Alexander the Great just a generation after his death. Epaminondas became prominent during the Theban-Spartan War, 379 to 371 BC. In 371 BC, as a magistrate of the Boeotian League, he led Theban forces to a decisive victory at the Battle of Leuctra. His innovative tactics, including using an oblique phalanx formation, shattered the myth of Spartan invincibility. This victory crippled Sparta's military dominance permanently. Over the next decade, Epaminondas campaigned throughout the Peloponnese, further weakening Spartan power. His final triumph came at the Battle of Mantinea in 362 BC, where he defeated the Spartans again, but suffered a fatal wound. His death marked the beginning of Thebes' decline, but his influence endured. King Philip II of Macedon, the father of Alexander the Great, studied Epaminondas' tactics and applied them to his conquests. Heraclius, Byzantine emperor from 610 to 641, faced monumental challenges during his reign. His empire was crumbling under pressure from the Avars, Slavs, and the formidable Sassanid Persians. Yet Heraclius held Byzantium together and orchestrated one of the most impressive military comebacks in history. When Heraclius ascended the throne, the empire was in chaos. By 622, he had rebuilt a capable army and personally led it into battle. He employed bold and unconventional tactics to outwit his enemies. In a series of brilliant campaigns, he defeated Persian forces in Azerbaijan and advanced deep into their territory. At the Battle of Nineveh in 627, Heraclius's forces annihilated a much larger Persian army, decisively ending the conflict. Although his later years were marred by the rapid Muslim conquests, Heraclius's earlier victories preserved the Byzantine Empire long enough to withstand future sieges of Constantinople. His triumph over Persia also paved the way for the dramatic reshaping of the Middle East. Khan Krum, known as Krum the Horrible, the Bulgar ruler Khan Krum was feared and admired for his ruthless efficiency and military skill. His reign saw the expansion of the First Bulgarian Empire and the establishment of a code of laws that strengthened his realm. Krum's most infamous victory came in 811 when he ambushed and destroyed the Byzantine army at the Battle of Varbica Pass. The Byzantine Emperor Nikephoros I was killed, and his skull was reportedly fashioned into a silver-lined drinking cup. Krum continued to ravage Byzantine territories, capturing key cities and humiliating his enemies. Despite his fearsome reputation, Krum was also a reformer. He unified Slavs and Bulgars, instituted legal reforms, and strengthened the central authority of his empire. His reign laid the groundwork for Bulgaria's future dominance in the Balkans. Gheorghe Kastrioti, better known as Skanderbeg, is Albania's national hero and symbol of resistance against the Ottoman Empire. A skilled guerrilla fighter, he led successful campaigns that earned him the nickname the Dragon of Albania. Initially trained as a janissary in the Ottoman army, Skanderbeg defected during the Battle of Nis in 1443. He seized the fortress of Kruj using a forged decree and declared a rebellion against the Ottomans. Skanderbeg's forces, though vastly outnumbered, repeatedly defeated Ottoman armies. In 1450, he withstood a massive siege at Kruja with fewer than 10,000 men against an Ottoman force of 150,000. Skanderbeg's exploits inspired admiration across Europe. Popes and monarchs alike hailed him as a defender of Christendom. Though he died in 1468, his legacy lived on, and his tactics influenced future resistance movements against the Ottomans. John III Sobieski. Jan Sobieski, King of Poland and Grand Duke of Lithuania, is remembered as the man who saved Europe. His greatest triumph came at the Battle of Vienna in 1683, where he led a coalition army to a decisive victory over the Ottoman Empire. As a scholar and soldier, Sobieski traveled extensively during his youth, gaining insights into the military strategies of Europe's great powers. He rose to prominence during the wars against the Cossacks and Tartars, demonstrating exceptional leadership and tactical acumen. When Vienna was besieged by a massive Ottoman force under Grand Vizier Kara Mustafa, Sobieski marched to the city's aid. His cavalry charge, led by the famous winged hussars, broke the Ottoman lines and turned the tide of the battle. His victory saved Vienna and marked the beginning of the Ottoman Empire's long decline in Europe. Sobieski's legacy endures as a symbol of courage and resilience. His leadership at Vienna remains one of the greatest feats of military history. These 5 commanders exemplify the power of strategic brilliance, determination, and leadership. While their names may not be as familiar as those of more famous generals, their historical contributions are no less significant. Their stories remind us that history is filled with unsung heroes whose legacies continue to shape our world.